So this is my off the couch reaction video to Netflix's War Machine. I have to say, I am so pumped after watching this movie. It far surpassed anything of what I thought it was going to be. When I first saw the trailer and I did a reaction to it, I was like, okay, this is gonna be a generic sci-fi, alien movie. Got to fight it, all that. Like, I get it, and honestly, like, I'm into it, like, totally fine. But man, I was not expecting the character driven drama that this movie like portrays. It blew my mind, honestly. And so War Machine stars Alan Ritchson, and he is phenomenal in this movie. I can't praise him enough. Just from the physicality, the acting. He's not a Leonardo DiCaprio, but I'm not going there to watch him be Leo, right? I'm there to watch him, fight a robot, right? Tear some stuff up. And he does that top notch, like top notch. I haven't watched him in the Reacher series, right? I haven't watched that series at all. But from what I know, he's great at it. And so he does a great job in this movie. But I just want to get into, not going to get into heavy spoilers or anything. This is just my reaction after watching it. But like I was saying, the character drama. We spend like the first like half hour of the movie just watching him. The backstory that takes place, right? No spoilers. And then ultimately what leads him into the bulk of the movie. And basically the premise of the movie is that he is going out to become a ranger. And he has to go through this trials, right, to reach that status. Eventually, he gets to that place where he's going to go and be a ranger, and they're down to their final test, and him and his squad have to go out and pass the test. And as you can imagine, right, in the middle of this, there's an alien robot that just shows up, and then all that takes place. But the first half hour was just nothing but this character-driven, almost drama where we're watching him, where we're seeing him throughout the training, right? Where we're just getting more and more invested in him, and also invested in some of the characters that end up, playing big roles throughout the movie. But it just blew my mind. I was really expecting for there to just, for the movie to just go right into, okay, here we are. We're figuring out the robot. We're fighting this, alien, whatever it is, and just going from there. I thought it was going to be a little more fast-paced. So the fact that this movie actually took its time in getting to, obviously, what the trailers have been showing, like, wasn't expecting it, and it was really, really well done. Really, really well done. And so, like, just to talk a little bit, the alien, right? It's like a cross between a transformer. So it walks on legs, right? It's like a cross between a transformer and I don't know how many people out there have played this video game called Horizons, right? Zero Dawn. And I know they had the sequel that came out, right? Aloy, right? If you can picture one of those machines, the machines from like the past, maybe I'll like splice it in, right? And just show like a picture of it. But it's like a cross between a transformer and one of those machines. Now, the backstory of how the alien got there to begin with is talked about, but they're very, very quick scenes. It's really kind of a backstory for the first like half hour, 35 minutes of the movie, where you're getting bits and pieces of information. Ultimately, then you understand how the alien gets there, and then what it actually means for the overall story. The other thing that I think accompanied, especially when it comes to every time the robot shows up, is the music that takes place throughout the movie. I don't know who did the soundtrack, but it's top notch. Like, the sense of dread, the sense of action that you get, and how the music just fit perfectly within it really helps to set more of the atmosphere of the movie. And I think, again, takes it to that next level where, if you haven't guessed by now, I highly recommend you watching this movie. And I know there will be people out there who, because it's Netflix, are going to be wondering, how preachy is this movie? Is there any level of wokeism, in it? And I'm actually pleased to report that there is none of that in this movie. The only thing I will say is that one of the side characters who's going out to be a ranger is a woman. And if you want to make a big deal of the fact of, okay, she beat out dozens of other men to make it to the final test, you can have a quarrel with that, especially when, there's a montage that takes place that shows the training that they're all going through. And so it's kind of like, you wonder, could she have actually passed this when she's competing against all these other guys? And I think that's a fair assessment. However, the movie makes no bones about that. It doesn't portray her as being better than the men. It doesn't portray her as, just being overall superior, or like she has all the answers, like she's the only one who knows what she's doing and all the men are dumb. She's 100% written just like any other person would be, like, in that scenario, as far as she's just a soldier. She wants to do her job. She believes in teamwork. She's really well written. And this is what people want, right? This is what people want. People want to label people who look at certain female characters as of late in Hollywood and be like, oh, you guys are misogynistic, you hate women. It's like, no, we just actually want good, well-written female characters whose problems aren't the fact that they're just female. And this girl who's in this movie is not written that way. She has her faults. She has her strengths. That's what people want. That's what we want to be portrayed. For anyone, not just women, but for anyone. If Hollywood started making movies where the main character of the man, and his only problem is that he's a man, that's not exciting, guys. It's not exciting. So there wasn't any of this, preaching wokeism, if you want to call it. Wasn't any of that in there, which was pleasantly surprised. This is a Christian channel, and so there are a couple of things that I want to just say to keep in mind, especially if you're a Christian out there who's just concerned, or if you're just concerned in general about, hey, what's actually in this movie. There's going to be a lot of violence. There's going to be a lot of gore. No sex. Movie doesn't even call for anything like that. But a lot of violence, a lot of gore. It's going to be cursing with that as well. But really, it's just the violence and the bloody aspect of the movie. But it makes sense when you're understanding, okay, they're fighting an alien robot that is armed to the teeth. What do you think is going to happen? So just keep that in mind if that's something you're worried about. But if you're okay with that, I would highly recommend this movie. I'm going to give it, I would say, an 8 out of 10. An 8 out of 10. I wouldn't be surprised if they make more of these movies. It's kind of set up that it could go. I personally, though, I wouldn't want it. I think this should just be a one-off. I think it's that good. But knowing Hollywood, just knowing all the streaming services out there, right? Especially after Netflix backing out of that Warner Brothers deal. If they feel that this is a banger, which I think it's going to be a banger, they're probably just going to start knocking more of them out. I don't know if keeping Alan Richardson as the main character is what should be done. Because I feel like his journey, his whole arc, and where he's ultimately ends up at the end of the movie is just perfect. That I don't know where you would go from there. But who knows? But I think they're probably going to make more. I wouldn't want it, but they're probably going to make more of these movies. And so, again, highly recommend you go watch it. If you've already seen the movie after watching this, let me know in the comments, what your thoughts are. Did you like it? Did you not like it? 8 out of 10 for me. Really, really solid. But I appreciate you guys for checking out the video. Peace.